A California man is suing the recent Powerball winner after claiming that the ticket he bought was stolen. Jose Rivera said that he bought the ticket at the store where the winning ticket was sold a day before the largest ever Powerball drawing. Well, the suit claims that a defendant, known only as Reggie, stole that ticket from him on that same day. Rivera claims that Reggie said he would only return the ticket if they split the winnings 50-50. But Rivera in his lawsuit says he refused to be blackmailed. Edwin Castro is the named winner listed as a separate defendant in this suit. Rivera notified both law enforcement and the California Lotto, asking that an investigation be completed before any funds are paid. Joining us now, Jesse Weber, anchor and attorney for the Law and Crime Network. Jesse, it's good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
So, Jesse, first of all, there is this person claiming that the winning ticket to the largest Powerball jackpot ever was stolen from him, that he is the actual winner. How unprecedented is this? Has this ever happened before?
He's not the first, and he's definitely not going to be the last. That happens all the time. The question, of course, is he telling the truth? That's really what it comes down to. And look, he's going to have his opportunity to make his case. The things that stand out to me are, number one, the California Lottery is standing behind Mr. Castro. They have a very thorough vetting process that lasts weeks, that can last months. The law enforcement division gets involved. And so the fact that they thoroughly believe and are confident that Edwin Castro won this is significant. On top of the fact, when you read this allegations, there's kind of these missing holes. For example, I don't understand who this Reggie character is and how he was able to obtain the ticket. And number two, how did the ticket get into the hands of Mr. Castro? So obviously there are things that are kind of red flags that are standing out. But at this point, it just becomes curious about where it's going to go next, both in the civil arena and potentially the criminal arena.
Yeah. What does an investigation even look like here? In the case of losing a lotto ticket, if you drop it in the parking lot after buying it, is it just finders keepers?
Well, so here's the problem, right? They have to go back to the surveillance footage and make sure he actually purchased that. Also, these tickets are very specified. It's kind of like you have to make sure that it's a real ticket that he actually purchased. And they're going to go back, see how it was purchased. He is the lawful owner of that. So one of the theories in his complaint is conversion, when you actually own the property, but it's taken unlawfully by someone else. That could be a claim. So they have to actually go back, make sure that he purchased it. Law enforcement can get involved and look at this too. But I want to make one thing really clear. This is both a civil case and a criminal case. So, for example, if law enforcement or the DA believes that there's not any criminal violations here, that still doesn't mean that he can't bring a lawsuit like he is. So a jury could find that he was wrong, but maybe it won't actually amount to criminal charges.
Well, Jose Rivera has demanded that the funds not be distributed until an investigation is completed. The California Lotto has said that this is a matter for law enforcement to investigate. It basically doesn't want to be involved at this point. Can he actually demand this at this point, that no funds be distributed to the winner?
What I would think he would do is advise a court and petition a court for an injunction, either a temporary injunction or a permanent injunction that would prevent the California Lottery from giving these funds over to Mr. Castro. Obviously, he would have to make a case for that, and an injunction basically puts a hold on it. We've seen that happen in similar cases. I'm not sure a court would be persuaded given these facts because, again, he's not going to be the first person. This is something that you have to look out for in these lotteries when you're dealing with one of, I believe it's the highest jackpot that was ever paid out. I'm surprised he's not the only person claiming that he was wrong by this.
Rivera in the lawsuit saying that he refused to be blackmailed by the winner. Is that actually blackmail, or is that something else, what he's describing?
The details are weird, right? He says that this Reggie character had the ticket, refused to give it over unless he shares 50% of the profits. If that's true, okay? So assuming everything he said is true, that is fraud. That could potentially be a blackmail situation, and also conspiracy if they can establish some sort of connection or agreement between him and Castro. What he's alleging is criminal conduct. This is somebody who allegedly stole his property and refused to give it back. So this is very serious what he's ultimately alleging, and I would like a little bit more details about who this third party is.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider, and don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.